There's been a ridiculous amount of hype on the internet, especially over this past weekend, for Valve's latest should-be blockbuster Portal 2. Releasing today for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC, Portal 2 is supposed to up the ante from the massive success of its predecessor by significantly increasing the game's length and adding a bunch of new features. Well, I can confirm that as I was able to play through the PlayStation 3 version this past weekend and I had an absolute blast.
Good morning. You have been in suspension for
9999999.
This courtesy call is to inform you.
Anyone in
All
there?
test subjects should vacate the enrichment
Hello?
center immediately. Any test subject
Are you
not emerging
gonna open
from
the door?
suspension at this time
At any
will
time?
be assumed to have exercised his or her rights
Hello?
to remain in
No.
extended.
Oh God! You look good. Looking good, actually. Are you?
Valve has teamed up with Sony to integrate Steam directly into the PlayStation version of the game, meaning that while playing you can bring up your list of Steam friends to chat and you can even play online with them. Upon syncing your PSN and Steam accounts, you'll be able to enter a code that will actually allow you to download a copy to your PC or Mac as well. With this, saved games are stored on a cloud, which means you can start a game on your PS3, then resume it on your PC. If you own a PS3 and a 360, there's no reason you should not be buying this for the PS3. The plot takes place several hundred years after that of Portal. You again play as Shell, as she's been in a stasis sleep while the Aperture Science facilities have gone to hell, as it's beginning to completely fall apart. A robot named Wheatley, voiced by Stephen Merchant, awakens you and aids you in your initial escape from the facilities. As you attempt to leave, you accidentally awaken GLaDOS, who obviously is not too happy to see you, and she begins to put you through a series of tests as she tries to rebuild the facility.
But I think we can put our differences behind us. For science, you monster.
Like the first game, your goal is to escape, only this time, an interesting turn of events occurs about halfway through the game, essentially doubling its length. Portal 2 was hilarious right from the start. The dialogue is clever and witty, and the voice actors are perfect in their roles. You'll even encounter a series of hysterical pre-recorded messages from Aperture Science CEO Cave Johnson, voiced by J.K. Simmons.
You might know us as a vital participant in the 1968 Senate hearings on missing astronauts. And you've most likely used one of the many products we invented, but that other people have somehow managed to steal from us. Black Mesa can eat my bankrupt...
Sir, the testing?
Right.
I rather enjoyed the game's art direction, as I felt that some parts had a distinct Half-Life 2 feel to them, and a series of wall drawings of events from the first game really created a unique ambiance. The graphics on the PS3 version are nothing to brag about. They're clean and functional without any tearing or drops in frames, but are not mind-blowing by any means. Everything you expect from the first game is back, including the blue and orange portals, turrets, the companion cube, and physics-based puzzle challenges set in the first-person perspective. The single-player campaign's 9 chapters took me roughly 11 hours to complete, as there are a ton of levels, and they start to get very challenging near the end. Some levels have you transitioning between different test facilities, and they are massive and really require some creative thinking to complete. The designers over at Valve really deserve some props because they've got some crazy bastards to think this stuff up. In addition to the mechanics you're used to from Portal, you'll encounter a new companion cube that can change the direction of lasers, which will be used frequently to solve some complex puzzles. An aerial faith plate has been included that's essentially a catapult that can launch you or other objects long distances, and hard light bridges and tractor beam-like tunnels may be used to walk across chasms or shield you from enemy fire. Finally, much of the game's later challenges revolve around the use of a repulsion gel, which allows you to bounce quite a distance off any surface covered in it, and propulsion gel, which accelerates you to great speeds. A white gel also makes an appearance, allowing you to create portals on anything it covers. The first half of the game feels very much like the original Portal, but once the game hits its story-changing event, it begins to feel like an entirely different game due to the new mechanics. There's also an option to play through any of the levels with developer commentary. If you decide to play in this mode, you won't be able to save your progress, but small floating speech bubbles will be scattered throughout the levels that, when selected, will reveal information on things like why the developers decided to design the particular level the way that they did. While I only played through a few of the levels with this feature on, I found it to be rather informative and interesting.
GLaDOS originally was a lot more cutting in these opening rooms, given that she's talking to someone she perceives as her murderer.
You and a buddy can team up for 2-player co-op via split-screen local or online over Xbox Live or Steam. You'll take on the role of 2 lovable robots named Atlas and Peabody. Each player has their own portal gun capable of shooting 2 portals each, and is put through many challenges that will require teamwork to solve. I chose not to play all the way through the co-op because I wanted to wait for release day to play through the levels with one of my friends, but I did play through about 8 of them to get a good feel of what to expect. The early levels are quite easy as they just get you accustomed to working together, but escalate in difficulty rather quickly. I would recommend to not play unless you have voice communication because these take a lot of coordination, and while tools are present to accommodate the situation, it's still challenging. Each player has a ping tool that they can use to show the other player where to run or where to place a portal. There's even a way to synchronize a countdown so that you can each perform a specific action together. Fun gestures like a high five are included to spice things up a bit, and you can also hold down a button to see exactly what your partner is seeing. Between a series of missions, you can walk around a hub area where you can select which levels you'd like to play, and where each player's total footsteps are displayed. I found the few co-op levels that I actually played to be extremely entertaining, and I can't wait to get back and finish them. Overall, this is a hell of a package. The length of the single-player campaign was greatly extended over the original, and that alone merits the $45 to $55 price tag. But the addition of the extremely addictive and challenging co-op mode should make it that much more enticing for the fanboys to drool over. The game's pacing is perfect, as the puzzles start out easy and get extremely difficult by the end. The new characters are hilarious, and the new mechanics keep things fresh even after many hours of play. Valve is known for creating gold, and they've just added another top-notch title to their resume. If you're interested in supporting the show, check out my sponsor Netflix at netflix.com/ZGR for a free trial membership in the US and Canada. Check out the full write-up and screenshots over at ZeitgeistGameReview.com. Stay up to date by following me on Twitter and Facebook, and make sure to check out all of the other great gaming entertainment on the Game Station. Don't forget to subscribe and press the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching.